Hi, today we're going to be talking about seeing, and the majority of the information is coming from Read This If You Want to Take Great Photos by Henry Carroll. We learned from earlier in the book, technical, composition, light, lenses. Now, if you want to take great pictures, one that really stands out from the crowd, you need to stop looking and start seeing. You have to start looking and seeing. Here we see Chris Levine's 2004 photo of the Queen Mother. And in this photograph, what he did is he captured a moment when she was resting and closing her eyes. Not a typical picture that you would normally see. Something unexpected when she rested her eyes between the setups. For a brief moment, she was no longer Queen Elizabeth, but now Elizabeth. Seeing is about turning your eyes and turning off your brain. It's about responding to your instinct. Instead, you're much more about personal approaches, feelings. Here, we're looking at this photograph, Spring Corner in New York in 2000. About looking and seeing and turning off your brain. Here, she captures 4 separate, unrelated elements as they come together for a single moment. The second later, these beautiful odd quartets would never be the same. So I see there's even more than a quartet. I mean, because quartets are 4, right? We have the dog. We have this man hunched over. We have the couple embracing. We have the man with the cockatoo on his shoulder, and even behind, way in the back, are these 2 women walking. So never again will they be together. The decisive moment, knowing exactly when to press the shutter, is one of the single most important aspects of photography. We saw Henri Cartier-Bresson earlier, where he's in his example in the stairs, the decisive moment, where he calls the decisive moment, when to depress the shutter. Arresting photographic instances are fleeting, and they come and go in a click of a finger. Here's what Henri Cartier-Bresson looked like. The fleeting reality of something bizarre, but also humorous moments of life. And this man skipping over a puddle, or these young gentlemen after the war. And this one we saw earlier from him at the stairway, or this young boy carrying 2 magnums of champagne. He's super excited. You can tell his happiness. You can see it in his face. Or these other children in front of this large wall. That decisive moment. Or these gentlemen at Wall Street. Or when he was in India. The decisive moment, when to press the shutter. It's all about seeing. If you keep your eyes peeled, you'll soon start to see moments like this all around you. And when it comes to it, you'll have no time to think, so set your camera up in advance. That's part of understanding and getting to know how to use your camera. It's perfect is often imperfect. So here we see this photograph of Robert Capa, the landing of American troops on Omaha Beach in Normandy from June 6, 1944. A lot of things happening, super scary moment in history. His image, although badly composed, is blurry and brilliant at the same time. Yeah, there's technical flaws. The technical flaws in this image of D-Day landing what makes this image so powerful. Sometimes you can't have it all, and it's far better to capture the right moment with the wrong settings rather than the wrong moment with the right settings. Here we're looking at Morgan's 2002, When My Grandfather Drank, #1. There's beauty, stories, and visual poetry in this photograph. We see past the obvious and hunt out a more personal and surprising version of beauty. We look for a subject that, for whatever reason, interests you, rather one that you think are photogenic. Your goal is to see with your eyes and not with your camera. Here we're looking at Edward Weston's Pepper 1930, Pepper number 30. Now, when you first look at it, it's a pepper. But if you look deeper, you see deeper, we realize there's actually, or you could see, an embrace of two figures. Sometimes leave the camera in your bag and just spend the day seeing. Here we're looking at Elliott Erwin, 1974, Felix, Gladys, and Rover. One thing that you want to think about is photography yoga. You're going to be hunching, squatting, bending over backwards, down on the ground, and climbing on the benches. So here, Elliott Erwin was hunching down to photograph this really amazing photograph in 1974. Photographs without excuses. So here we see NASA picture of Earth, Apollo 17 in 1972. Great photographs don't usually offer themselves up on a plate. You have to go that extra mile to capture them. True or false? Good photographers nail it on the first time. True or false? Well, we can see here from Dorothea Lange, here's her 4 images that she took. And this is the one that's the most famous. So once again, true or false? Good photographers nail it on the first try. Focus in your attention on a particular subject matter that gives you more purpose and a better result when shooting. Here we can see Sunday, 25th of June, 2006, 2342 from Cardiff After Dark. Don't feel like your photographs have to explain themselves. Hold a little back. Give your imagination somewhere to go. They don't have to always answer a question. Here we see in Alex Sloth in 2002, Sugar Davenport. And, you look at this photograph and you see this kind of brilliant green walls, this tattered shade, this old sofa, dirty carpet, and then a Hustler magazine. We don't know what's happening, but that's part of the interest. Here we're looking at The Americans from Robert Frank, first published in 1958. A photographic novel which the beginning, middle, and end, as a series of pictures suddenly makes sense. Together, their style and subject matters carry a message that no single one alone could ever voice. If you're about capturing individual unrelated pictures, you'll end up with a nice enough set of photos, but you won't come close to exploring your photographic potential. So think about creating a series. Female Boxer number 3 from 2009. Don't overthink things. Photograph what you feel.